Okay. Hi, Fraser.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Can everybody hear him
Real?
okay? I think everybody can hear him. Okay. I'm seeing your level looks good to me.
Mr. Reiber is hyped
Do you
AF.
hyped? Do you AF?
I'm a little blue. I'm wearing my Eclipse 2017 t-shirt for Astronomy Cast.
Mm-hmm.
And to remind people that we're going to be recording our Astronomy Cast 500 in like 3 weeks in Edwardsville. I'm sure Pamela mentioned this
But no,
last time she was on the show.
Well, no. I mean, we talk about it casually because but even though it's a huge event, 500 episodes of Astronomy Cast.
I know, right?
It's incredible. If you guys haven't heard of Astronomy Cast, you need to know about Astronomy Cast. You can get it, on it's still available on Google Play and oh gosh, I'm trying to remember the other one, iTunes. Yeah, I never use it that way
YouTube.
though. YouTube
Yeah.
now, yeah, and they do it live.
Yeah.
So that's kind of you guys kicked up the YouTube part of it. How long ago?
2012.
Oh my gosh, it's been that long that you guys did the live.
6 years or
Oh
so.
wow. See, I was still listening to it on just iTunes at that point.
Yeah, well,
I
people
didn't
didn't
know.
realize that we did the show live. That was it was really good to kind of force ourselves to just be able to do the shows live with a live audience, and that was a really powerful way to make our show better and
Mm-hmm.
interact and engage with people live with people. So yeah.
Yeah, and that it's something that I've listened to for years. I would have thought I was crazy, thinking that I mean, and I still do actually, but that I'm actually talking with you guys because I listened to you guys for forever.
I know it's super weird. People say, "Oh, you don't look anything like we thought you would," but
You guys look pretty much what I thought you would.
well, I get it all the time. So I got something else I got to show you too.
What? What's that?
My wife gave me a birthday present. My
Mhm.
birthday's still a couple of days away, but check this out. I don't know if you can see this.
Is that a meteorite?
Yeah, it's a iron meteorite, and it's got to be a pound.
Yeah.
More.
Yeah.
It's huge. It's heavy.
It's
Awesome.
heavy. It's
Yeah.
heavy.
Yeah, it's got like little thumbprints, and yeah, it's a chunk of space metal.
How did she get that?
Well, I don't want to reveal her secrets. Of course, I had no part in choosing my own birthday present.
I know where you're going with that. Amazon? Yes, Mr. Reiber. We're just going to say Amazon.
eBay? Yeah, eBay. I think. Yeah, you can get these nickel iron meteorites on eBay, and they're actually not that expensive. It's pretty great. But I've always wanted one of the big ones, so I've always had these little guys, and so now I get one that's, cudgel mass, which is great.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
See, this is if you guys are have a partner that's a space nerd, that these are great gifts.
Yeah.
I wanted meteorite jewelry because they have that stuff too.
Astro YYZ is mentioning there's legitimate meteorite traders like Jeff Notkin. Yeah, absolutely. Go to Jeff Aerolite, I think is his website, and he's absolutely legit, and he's got a couple of partners that he works with as well. So, yeah, it's a great gift for the space nerd in your life.
Yeah, here's the link to aerolite.org. I think that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's, and those things are, the jewelry is actually pretty expensive from what I've seen. Just like getting like a piece of meteorite, put it into a necklace.
I buy them in bulk. So I'll get because you can get smaller pieces of it for fairly inexpensive. And so I will buy like a kilogram of it, but it's broken up into 20-gram chunks. And so I'll get like a big bag of them, and then I give them as gifts to people.
Yeah.
So
that's
if we ever meet in person, remind me to bring you a meteorite.
Yeah, we better. I think it will happen at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sounds like drug dealing. No. But there are a lot of places that aren't authentic. It's really, there's ways you can test to see if the meteorite is authentic.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's the. I mean, I'm assuming there are ways that people can make these fake. I mean, the trick is that you just go with a reputable seller,
Right.
someone who's got, really good reputation, and you're pretty safe. And even if it's fake and you've been lied to, you'll never know. So don't worry about it.
Yeah. So in that case, that it will be ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you
Yeah.
think you've got a piece of space metal, and that's as valuable to you as an actual piece of space metal.
Meteors are us for all your
Yeah.
meteorite needs. You can buy them at bulk at Costco. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. It was funny. I finally met Jeff Notkin for the first time at this Star Stuff conference that we did in Australia. And what a delightful man. He is as wonderful in person as you get the impression he is on the show. So it was really great to be able to hang out with him and spend time. So
Oh, that's super cool.
I can sort of verify that he's legit.
Yeah, having one of those next to you, that's really amazing. It is. It is.
Yeah. I'm waiting for it to give me a superpower, of course.
Right. Well,
And I always tell people when I give them a meteorite that it will give them a superpower. Um, the superpower is very mundane. Like one friend found that after I gave him the meteorite, when he went on motorcycle rides, he tended to have good weather. Didn't rain, so that kind of thing.
well, okay. So here's a good question, and I know that Mr. Reiber, he kind of brought the question into my head. If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Fly,
Yeah.
flight, yeah, totally. Flight, done, sold.
It wouldn't be time travel?
So many paradoxes.
I know.
I mean, it would give you a headache. You'd be thinking about the implications. Yeah, no, I would definitely go for flight.
See, I'd go with time travel if I could have a no touchy and messing with time type rule.
You could be
attached.
guaranteed paradox free.
Right, paradox free
Yeah.
time travel. I would love to do that.
Yeah.
Telepathy? No, telepathy doesn't sound good.
No, yeah, it'd be too much to I don't want to know. I don't want to know what other people are thinking.
No, I don't either.
Yeah, Fenring is saying I'd settle for not dying and getting sick. Good one too. I think if I had to choose, I would definitely take that over flying. I take it back. I'll take
Not dying?
Yeah, not dying and healing. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah.
See, no, I'm okay. I'm good with mortality. I think you get
No
really
way.
bored.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna live forever.
Really?
Multiple robot bodies. I'm gonna watch the final proton fade away in the universe.
But you could do that with time travel.
I guess, yeah, except for all the paradoxes.
Well, remember, paradox free. You just have to have that
Paradox
caveat.
free. Yeah. No way. I want to experience every moment of what this universe has to offer from now until the end of time.
Invisibility, but only when you close your eyes.
Invisibility for the universe. Yeah.
So, we know that the Parker Solar Probe actually launched finally.
Yeah. So this was kind of exciting. I don't know if I mentioned this last week, but we actually had a photographer at the launch of the Parker Solar Probe, and we got just some mind-bending pictures of the launch. And as we've done before, why don't I give you some pictures?
Okay. And then, guys, I will share those in Discord after the stream. I will copy and paste those in there.
This is so much. Okay, let me see.
Can money be a superpower?
Yeah, I mean, you can get money.
Yeah. I feel like if you chose another superpower, you could probably acquire money, but probably not by good means.
No, that doesn't work. So I want to send you a message. Why? How do I get to where we're having messages?
So at the top where it has that little Discord icon at the very top left, I can say hi.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Yeah.
That's better. All right, here. Here's one.
The power of
I'll tell the
larceny.
story in a second here. Here's another.
Oh, wow.
And another.
Okay, so I'm going to share these now. These are kind of incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and put this in the general chat for Skynet. Wow, these are super cool.
Yeah. So the Parker Solar Probe launched on the weekend. It was originally going to launch like early Saturday morning, and then it ended up they had a 1 day delay, and so it launched on Sunday morning. And we so a couple of months ago, I was been talking to a photographer, a guy named Glenn Davis, and he takes phenomenal rocket footage, but he's never had a chance to actually get a press pass to get media accreditation. So we did a bit of a partnership. He was under our umbrella at Kennedy Space Center for the launch, and in exchange, we got to use his pictures. So, and he actually set up a remote camera setup at the at the launch site.
Mm-hmm.
And so these are the pictures. I don't know. Can you show the picture in the screen?
Yeah, I could bring down I can do that. I'm in full screen mode, but we can copy the link and exit full screen mode. I could show
But you can put the picture up on the screen so people can see what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go. It's in between us there. So this is the Delta IV Heavy, and it's 3 engines launching. You can see all the mock diamonds in the rocket plume. Mm-hmm. And so he set up this camera system right in front of the rocket, but then because of the 1 day delay, and it was totally remote. So as soon as it heard the sound of the rocket, it started to take pictures, but it had to survive for an extra day. So it was in this cool plastic enclosure. He's using a Sony A6000 was the camera that he used. And so the second picture, is the launch of it. You can see the sort of down at the bottom where it took off, and then as it made its burn, and then went sideways. What's really cool about this is, I don't know if you can see it in this one, but actually you can see Pleiades and Taurus in the back of the picture as well. Yeah, and there's one more, which is the best one. So you got to show the other one.
Yeah, we'll go to that one too.
Yeah, and I actually think he got the best picture of the launch of the Parker Solar Probe. So this is the one here. I think this one's going to win an award.
Really?
I think so. Yeah. Look at that picture. It's crazy.
It looks amazing.
Yeah.
Looks absolutely amazing. Well, I've never seen him before. I listened to him on Astronomy Cast podcast when going to sleep.
That's what I was saying. People know what we sound like, but they don't know what we look like. So there you go.
I'm gonna keep that other one open as the wallpaper.
Sure, you're gonna make that our background.
Yeah, because
that's awesome.
These are amazing. And guys, I posted these in Discord too. So, and thank you.
And Parker Solar Probe is going to be the fastest object ever sent by humans into space. So it was great, and now we're going to try and do this again August 24th. There's a SpaceX launch, and so hopefully Glenn is going to be able to make it to that launch, and we'll just keep covering these launches as we go.
Yeah. And
make sure you go to Glenn Davis Photography and check out the rest of his work, because he'll sell you higher resolution prints, of course. Follow him on Instagram.
Yeah, I think this is this him? Wait a second. I'm seeing family photos.
Yeah, no. That's him there. I'll give you his Instagram as well.
Let's see.
That's funny. Someone's like, Earth is flat, confirmed by this pic. Yeah, well, except that where's it going?
Yeah, so where again, I'm wanting to make sure I don't get the wrong Glenn Davis.
There, I just put it into the.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
There it is.
To the dome.
Awesome.
Duh, and then smashed to the ice wall. But it's an amazing
3 ice walls, maybe.
Yeah, it could go through a couple of them.
Well, wait. What's this? So will the Parker probe also get new information?
I don't think so. It's going to be doing 7 flybys of Venus. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be using all those gravitational slingshots to help it decrease its orbit to get closer and closer to the sun. And eventually it's going to get within 6 million kilometers of the sun. And sort of at the fastest point of its orbit, it's going to be going, I forget the speed, like 200 kilometers per second or something, like just a ridiculously fast speed.
Yeah, I think So I'm going to do not kilometers because then, everybody gets to really love me. I think it was like 430,000 miles per hour.
Right, right. Yeah, so
That's insane.
faster than anything we've ever launched.
That's
In
fast.
fact, it would only take 6,000 years to get to Alpha Centauri.
Only 6,000.
Only 6,000.
Going 430,000 miles per hour. Only 6,000 years to get to our nearest star.
Yeah.
Great.
So it's a tremendous improvement over the Voyagers, which would take 50,000.
Yeah. Yeah. 3% the speed of light, I think. I don't think it's a solid 3%. But I'm not doing math right now. That's not happening right now. Nope. Not while I have a guest. Nope.
It's not math time.
Not math time.
Do the math later.
Yeah. So so this is really, really cool. And then, there was other things that I actually watched your video with the what if SpaceX went broke?
Right. My QA. Did you run it on the? Did you watch it, or you just? Yeah.
I
do you
watched
ever
it alone.
watch videos? You just ran it on your channel?
No, I didn't run it on the channel.
Okay.
I watched it alone.
But that means you have time for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder. We can watch that, guys. But I would. Can you give a synopsis of what that is so everybody can also know to go to your YouTube and to watch the video? We can watch it.
Yeah. Well, I do my weekly question show on my YouTube channel, and this was one of the questions that somebody asked was what would happen if SpaceX went broke? What would happen to all of the engines? What would happen to all of the stuff they've developed? And I think, the greatest gift that SpaceX has given us is to show us that reusable rockets are possible, that you can launch a rocket, launch a satellite into space, and then bring parts of the rocket back down and land them on Earth. And the thing they're working on now is to get the entire rocket reusable. That's what the BFR, right? You're going to have the top and bottom both be able to launch into space, separate, both parts will be able to land, and you're going to have the whole thing fully reusable, just fuel it back up and fire it off again. And so even if SpaceX goes out of business, not saying that it will, but if it did, that now that we know that this is possible, the other rocket companies like Blue Origin or United Launch Alliance or the Chinese or the Russian, somebody could do it. And even if it did go bankrupt, all of its parts would be sold as part of the bankruptcy proceedings and all of its patents and all that kind of stuff. So you would see whoever picked up the parts would be able to continue working on the rocket engines and so on. Would and all of the engineers, it's not like the engineers have to go bankrupt and go get jobs, in the service industry. All of the engineers would get jobs in new rocket companies and continue working. So I think that is the part that's so amazing, is that now that this has been proven to work, any rocket company is going to attempt reusable rocketry as the way they move forward. So
yeah, and so everybody's saying they would hire talent and build the same, and they would sell the plans to another company for sure. Yeah, the big AF rocket.
yeah, they've just given it a different name, but it would essentially be the same concept. We don't know yet about whether the BFR is going to work. That is still in the plans. It's a significant technical challenge to have both parts, especially the top part, be fully reusable. That is that's still a big unknown.
Right.
But in theory, SpaceX has done the math, and there's no reason why it would break the laws of physics for it to be able to be possible.
Yeah. Not sure if shuttle reusability was worth the effort. Tuberm says.
Yeah. You're going to have arguments from various people. To call the space shuttle reusable is, parts of it were certainly reusable. The orbiter was reusable. The solid rocket boosters were reusable. The engines were reusable. The largest chunk that was thrown away was the big external fuel tank. But the amount of refurbishment that was required after every single launch was enormous. You're looking at $500 million to $1 billion for every space shuttle launch. So it was a very expensive process. With the new Falcon 9, this thing lands, they move it back to the launch pad, they fill it back up again, and then they launch it again. So now this is so funny, I'm trying to phrase this. The final Falcon 9, it's the final Falcon 9 design. The first one of these has been launched twice, and it's about to be launched for the third time. So I got to come up with a really pithy sentence that puts all those first, fifth, third statements together. But yeah, so the Block 5 configuration of the Falcon 9 is designed for reusability and a minimum amount of maintenance. They've looked at every single part of the rocket that's wearing and tearing with each launch, and is swapping out the parts with titanium, coming up with different kinds of heat shielding to minimize the amount of impact. So you're looking at just a rocket that is designed from the ground up for reusability. And that is a completely different situation than what it was with the space shuttle. With the new SLS, it's a bit of a tragedy when you look at these beautiful RS-25 engines. This, a lot of people call them the Ferraris of rocket engines. These were those big engines that were on the back of the space shuttle. Easily the most efficient rocket engines, production rocket engines that were ever created. They put out an enormous amount of thrust at really high sort of performance levels, and they're going to be attached on the Space Launch System. There's going to be 4 of them, and they're just going to be thrown away, right? That first booster is going to burn up in the Earth's atmosphere, and those beautiful rocket engines are going to be destroyed every time. And so they've got 15 left over from the space shuttle, and they're going to be building another however many they need to keep the SLS going. And so really it's a race, right, between the BFR proving that it can do what SpaceX is claiming it can do, and the first few launches from the Space Launch System. We'll see what happens if the BFR does fly. It's expected that we're going to see the first tests of the spaceship next year. And it's going to be orbital. So we're going to see some hop tests next year. Probably by 2020, we're going to see the spaceship launch into orbit and then land again. It is going to be a single stage to orbit all on its own. And then if we see that happen, then the first stage booster, which is essentially the same thing as the Falcon 9 first stage, is going to be happening.
Right.
And then that technology will be proven, and it's going to be able to launch. And then the question is, what is the point of building the SLS when something like the BFR is ready to go and costs a fraction of the price? But until then, right? It's crazy to wait on Elon Musk and wait for their timelines. You just keep building, and then if someone comes along and shows you a better way, then by all means take that instead.
Yeah, someone asked, or Fenring said, is anyone working on spike engines for actual flights?
There are a couple. The aerospike engines. It's a way of making an engine that can change its profile depending on the amount of atmosphere that it's going through. And this was a design that was going to be used back when NASA was working on its own single stage to orbit for the X-34, I think, the Venture Star, and in the end, that program was canceled and they shelved it. But there's another company that's using this right now. Oh, and I forget. Someone in the chat will get it. I know the name. There's a company that's using these aerospikes, but they're actually using them. It's a single stage rocket, but they're not reusable. So it's going to launch stuff in one go, but it won't be reusable. So,
yeah, someone just said, yeah, if the BFR launches successfully a couple times, won't that make the SLS redundant?
Yeah. Oh, Arc Aerospace, Aerojet. Anyway, someone I hope will throw it in there.
There's probably a few people in here.
Yeah. So I mean, it comes back to this whole idea of single stage to orbits. I think at this point, the idea of a single stage to orbit right now is not feasible still, even if you could, right? Like the BFS, the big Falcon spaceship, is going to be a single stage to orbit spacecraft. But the best way to put the most amount of stuff into space at the cheapest price is to make your whole rocket reusable and still use staged rockets. So you launch the thing as a stack. When the first stage is out of fuel, it returns to the launch pad, and the second stage continues on. You want to shed that weight as the fuel empties out of your rocket. And even if a single stage to orbit is possible, the amount of cargo that it can carry to space is a fraction of what you can carry with a staged rocket. And so the goal here is that you this only works with reusable rockets. When you have the top and bottom stages both being reusable and you're not throwing out either chunk, then that is the leap ahead of the single stage to orbit. So people are mentioning the Skylon. The Skylon is another idea for a single stage to orbit, and it's a pretty exciting concept where the engine, it's like an airplane. It takes off like an airplane, flies, uses an air breathing engine, and then when it hits vacuum, it switches to a vacuum engine, can launch payloads to space, and then return to the landing, to the runway, fill up on another cargo, fill up on fuel, and take off again. But right now, there is only like a prototype of an engine. So we're a long way away from that being tested. And I would be surprised, even if it does get going, that in the end, it's a more economical way to launch than the BFR, right? That just that reusable top and bottom single stage rocket or two-stage rocket is a really clever, really efficient way to get this job done.
A UK space company is working on a Sabre engine.
Yeah, the Sabre engine is for the Skylon, and
Sabre
this is the
sounded
one.
way more.
Yeah, and this is like that engine that is the one that will breathe air when it's down in the atmosphere, and then push against vacuum when it's out in space.
I have not heard about that at all, but Sabre sounds fancy.
Yeah, Sabre.
Sabre,
I think is the way to say it. But
yeah. No, probably. I'm not too touched up on like rockets and stuff. But this, I do know a bit of what you're saying. I'm probably understanding about 40%, but that's bad. I'm going to be honest. It's not much time that I spend on rocket stuff. It's
don't
cool.
Play enough Kerbal Space Program. That is your problem.
Any of it. I know because no.
You will learn. I've said this several times in the past, right? Mm-hmm. I learned more about orbital mechanics by playing Kerbal Space Program for a while than I did from close to 20 years of being a space journalist.
Yeah.
Like it's just one thing to go, the first stage reached periapsis and blah blah blah. And it's another thing to like make your rocket hit that altitude and circularize its orbit. And once you've played even just a few hours, you will so deeply understand how orbital mechanics works that you're set. So I highly recommend it.
Yeah. It's
take some time. Your fans would love to talk you through it.
No, they wouldn't. No, they'd probably be like, "Oh, it's such a headache." Like, "Oh man, look at her." No, it'd probably be something I would do offline.
Can I get some agreement from the people watching this right now that they would love to watch you fail and would love to provide you tips and tricks to make your rockets work better and to keep those poor Kerbals alive?
No, they're all they would. Okay, so they might agree with that. They would love to watch me fail. That might be where they're saying yes right now.
I see. They can't say that. They get banned. So you ban them if they urge you to play Kerbal Space Program. Is that how this works?
No, I don't have that much KSP hate. Whoa. What about you liars? No, but we have, we have already a bunch of really good KSP streamers. My section is more discussing things.
It is not about out KSPing Scott Manley and
EJSA.
SM. Yeah. No, it is just about having some hilarious good times learning to launch those Kerbals into space.
Oh, they would laugh. They would laugh indeed. They'd be like, look at this.
Yeah. Or maybe get Scott to show up and
that's, I would like to, that's one thing I was thinking about is having Scott on here and have him run through kind of, what he does and watch him do it and then have my chat laugh at him because I don't think a lot of them would laugh at him.
I'm supposed to blink twice if you're holding me hostage too.
Oh no. Someone asked, what's the main goal about KSP?
What is the main goal of KSP? Well, it's whatever you want. right? It's so the wonderful thing. So KSP, right? Kerbal Space Program. It is this. Imagine if there was a world where the population was enthusiastically supportive of space exploration, and they had unlimited budget and a willingness to take experiments and try things. And so you run this space agency, and you've just got all kinds of budget, and you can design all kinds of rocket systems, and then you try to launch missions, and so you can. Too unrealistic. Can't relate. I know. It's crazy.
They have
right?
no noses.
Yeah. And these little guys, they're actually plant based, and so if you leave them in space, they're fine. They love it. They can handle it. And so you can launch spacecraft and build space stations and land on various moons and other planets in the Kerbal system, and really learn the different orbital mechanics. You can do gravitational slingshots around various worlds, and there's different kinds of engines, from ion engines to chemical rockets. There's aerospike engines. You can do aircraft as well. So it's a great game. And you look at what EJ does, and it's mind-bending what's possible.
Yeah, and he has the knowledge behind to really like talk about what's going on. But yeah, I could see doing that on my own time.
Just play. just do it.
I saw that you were playing RimWorld.
Yeah, playing a lot of RimWorld. Are we friends on Steam? Is that what's happening?
No, Discord actually shares the game overlay.
Oh, so okay.
I was like, he's playing RimWorld because it's it's another game that a lot of people.
Yeah, I do loves me some RimWorld. Yeah. I think it's my favorite game ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now everybody's like, play it. No. Okay. Sorry. I just had to handle that. No. Okay.
No.
The dream is ruined for everybody.
I know the feeling. I did a stream of Skylias on my Twitch stream. I was like, this is boring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
RimWorld
might be a little more fun, but when you're streaming something for a public audience, you have to keep up a level of chatter.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And as opposed to just being deeply engrossed in the game. So when you play a game in front of an audience, you don't really enjoy the game in the same way.
No.
You do enjoy it, and the interaction with the audience is awesome, but it's exhausting.
It is. And yeah, I would, I'm usually either if I'm playing games, it's ones that are really not related to space because I'm taking a space break.
Yeah.
So when I'm doing that, and I don't, a lot of people don't go to those streams, but I actually feel more connected in those streams with my community sometimes than space streams because I'm not having to churn out information. So it's a whole different other thing. But
again, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you show up and just dole out the space science for hours every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't either. It's I need to. That's one thing I'm going to be working on too. Is just kind of getting a better schedule with it because there is going to be times I just need to game, and it's weird because a lot of people will come in and say no space today, and it's a compliment. It's tough to do it every single day, and that's why my streams are limited to 4 to 5 hour segments if we're doing space. But if we're streaming video games, it's a total different thing.
Yeah.
But Fraser Games, guys, I saw that and I was snickering. I was laughing to myself. I'm like, he's playing a game.
Again. Yeah, I don't have it's sad. I don't have a lot of time to play games, which is really terrible. And because I have a gigantic Steam library, but I'm playing the game of life.
Have you ever played what is that one that everybody tried? Elite Dangerous?
Yes, I have it. Or someone gifted me a license of it, and I played it for a couple of hours and just couldn't succeed. And I just wasn't willing to put in enough time to learn how to play it. So
yeah, that one I hear has a huge learning curve.
Yeah, it was really complicated. So, and I actually just bought the No Man's Sky, the new update.
Oh.
So I finally, but I haven't played it since way back in the day. So
yeah, I haven't even. I didn't buy it. Like I was so hyped for it, and then I read reviews, and they weren't great. But everybody's saying it's great now. But there's so many other games that have come out in between there from the original launch of the game to now that are kind of the same thing, just,
Yeah.
Mining for resources and things like that. So
I don't play Crusader Kings. Someone was just asking that, but I play a ton of Europa Universalis. So I would say if you look at the most time spent on my games, it's Europa Universalis, XCOM 2, RimWorld, and Darkest Dungeon. So that gives you a sense of, and Stellaris. So those are the kinds of games that I like to play.
yeah, everybody's loving your game choices.
Yeah.
So do you guys have any questions about space, even though we're all talking about games? It's okay.
Yeah, we're talking or video games.
Or video games, yeah. Or video games.
Yeah. Or
who would have ever guessed that, he would play video games? I would have.
I've been playing video games before you were born.
I know.
Yeah.
Hey, I still have my original
Pong.
NES right here, though.
That's how old I am.
Pong
Pong
was good,
in the arcade. Yeah, I remember like 1975, I think.
Yeah, arcades were still a thing when I was growing up, too. I used to do that. I used to roller skate. Not even rollerblade. I used to roller skate.
Yeah. RimWorld sounds very disturbing. RimWorld is a genius game. Like, I get the name, uses the word rim. I get it.
Hey-o.
But if you've ever heard of this game called Dwarf Fortress, there's so many games like are inspired by this game called Dwarf Fortress. It is like the most amazing game to read about, but to actually play it is so complicated. I keep every year or so I try to play Dwarf Fortress and I just give up because it's just too complicated. I can't do it. But RimWorld is like the light version of Dwarf Fortress with a user interface that's usable and graphics that are easy on the eyes, and it's such a fun game.
Someone said playing Dark Fortress is kind of like having a second job.
Yeah, so complicated, and you want to, like, you really want to know how to, like, you wish you could play this game. You wish you could have those experiences that other people are having as they play Dwarf Fortress, but it's impenetrable,
Yeah.
And yet the game is so complicated, right? It generates an entire fantasy world, maps out the history of these dwarven civilizations for tens of thousands of years, spawns every single hero, every single king, all of these magical weapons, and writes all these historical stories and poems and songs, creates magic items, maps out all the political machinations for this 10,000 years, and then you get to pick some place to start a little civilization in this amazing background world. But the game is impenetrable.
It's Dwarf
RimWorld
Fortress, not Dark Fortress.
RimWorld is the version that I can play that I can understand.
Okay. Does he have a Twitch account? He does. He can even say hi in chat right now. So if you guys have questions, you can even at him. You can do this.
You can at me.
You can at Fraser. See, look at that. Wow.
Yeah.
Bagheera.
Yeah, and actually we're going to do something on the Twitch at some point, right?
Yeah, so I haven't, I was checking with my account rep right before the stream started, well, earlier this morning. I said, hey, can we talk about, like, because we can talk about it, but again, like, it's not something that, he had me send images and stuff and give a description of what we're doing. So I'm assuming it's on, but he might be super busy, because I think, guys, is there PAX West coming up this weekend or something, or was that last weekend?
PAX West will be in September.
Will it?
Yeah.
Is there some other kind of con going on? I feel like there might be another con going on.
Gen Con?
Yeah, there's some, because he's sometimes doing a million other things. So, but I'm pretty sure he would have said, no, we can't do it. He said, yeah, it sounds like something I can do. So we'll have hopefully the front page. If not, it doesn't matter. We'll still do it, weather permitting. If not, we'll just sit here and hang out and talk about stuff,
Right.
All the space stuff. But so I showed everybody at the beginning of the stream, and I'll show it again after this is over, just so you guys can know what a virtual star party is. But that's what we have planned for next Wednesday, the 22nd at 9 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time.
I took a bunch more pictures. Let's see if I can get you another one here. So on the 10th, I was live streaming. I'll probably live stream again tonight. Sure,
Ooh.
Why not? I will live stream tonight.
Yeah, so on Twitch and probably...
Yeah, I'll do that on Twitch.
Yeah, so you guys, it's all of his information. He does have a Twitch. It's that last link in that whole information block right there. He has a lot of stuff.
I know I should probably customize my Twitch page better, but again, I'm a stranger in a strange land.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, you'll get there. It's yeah.
Okay, so I took this a couple of nights ago. It's actually I could probably make that look better, but it's the Lagoon Nebula, and we did this live, which was again fun. I
Yeah,
can
let
make that
me.
look better.
F11. This one looks super cool. Ooh.
Yeah.
I like
So
it.
and so again, the point of this is that's a 3-minute exposure, so it's really quick.
Yeah.
And so we're able to like find objects really quickly, take requests. Do you want to see a globular cluster? No
Of course.
problem.
Of course.
Yeah. Want to see a star forming nebula?
Mm-hmm.
Let me give you another one here. I'll brighten this up a little bit. Yeah. It's kind of zoomed in.
So that's just a 3-second exposure?
3-minute.
3 minute. Oh, okay. It's like that's
still ridiculously fast for
it is.
for
It
the-
is. Oh yeah, for looking at objects. Can we see some memes with what are you talking about, Zero? Man, I want to image some of these on my own. I know.
Yeah.
Bill Nash actually showed. I shared some of his photography. He's got some crazy cool photography. And which one is this?
That's the Trifid Nebula. Yeah. So it's not great. I've sort of, boosted it up. It's fairly low for the telescope, but still really cool. I mean, we probably got 20 or 25. How many objects did we get? I feel like there's about 30. So on the 10th, we got about 30 objects. And I'm answering astronomy questions and helping people pick their telescopes and stuff. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, these are really, really cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to put this one up now, though. This one. Dun, 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 dun. That looks so cool.
I know.
It's such a clean photo, too.
Yeah.
And you see those diamonds still, too, in it, right up here.
And it was all taken by a robot, right? Which is the amazing part.
That's so insane.
When it heard the sound, it started taking pictures. I like to think of it like the camera was yelling, "Woo!" taking its pictures.
That is so incredible. That is insane. Robots We Dead. Well, you would have to have something like that. The Delta for Heavy is a beast. Coolest launch I've seen. Wait, did you get to see it, Nicole?
Did you see it personally?
Personally?
Yeah. Yeah, it would have been an amazing rocket launch to see because it's such a big rocket. There's no other rocket out there right now that can do that kind of velocity. So
yeah, someone said, "Are those images taken from the new telescope in South Africa?" No, those are Fraser's images that we were looking at before.
Yeah.
Oh no, not personally. I wish. Yeah. What inexpensive telescope would you recommend for someone just starting out?
I always recommend binoculars first. Get astronomical binoculars first. And then learn the night sky and go out and because they're wonderful to see the sky with. You can see things like nebulae and you can see Andromeda and you can see globular clusters and planets and the moon looks great. And if you find yourself still enjoying that, then I permit you to buy a telescope.
Mm-hmm.
And then what telescope you buy depends on what you want to get out of it. So if you want to just have something quick and dirty that you can do some observing with, there's a great Celestron does it's like 127 EQ. It's a fairly inexpensive telescope, just a couple $100 and quick and dirty. You set it up, you can point it. It's manual, but it does have a mount that is at the right angle so that you can sort of track with the knob as things are moving in the sky. And that's a great way to go. And you can put different eyepieces on it and you can see the vast majority of what you want to see. If you want to like do astrophotography, then you're in pretty deep. And that's when the money starts getting spent. But if you want something, just a small manual telescope out of Celestron or Meade or any of those guys are great. If you're just getting started, I don't recommend a go-to mount. The effort to try and make the thing track and to align against Polaris and be able to have it go automatically is it's a big pain,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yep.
later on you absolutely need it. So start with binoculars, go to a small manual telescope, and then for a couple $100, and if you're still having fun, then I allow you to buy a fancier telescope.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with that too. And it's funny because someone actually said about a month back that that sounds like a condescending answer when we suggest binoculars. But I feel like that's actually very, very solid advice because if you just start buying telescopes and you realize you're not using them that much,
Well,
binoculars are
and it's
easy
not
to
just
move
that you're not using
around,
them, it's
right?
that the what you end up seeing with a telescope is less than you were hoping.
Right.
The
Yes.
the best thing to
It's
see
a good point.
is like you see Saturn and you're like, I cannot believe I'm seeing Saturn with my own eyeballs, right? It's amazing to
Hmm.
see the rings and the planet. To see craters on the moon is wonderful. To see Jupiter and the bands across the planet. But beyond that, most other objects are like, that's a little blurry bit. That's
Hmm.
a little fuzzy
It's
bit. There's a
fuzzy.
little furry, but and so it's when you start taking pictures that things get really amazing. And to be able to take pictures requires a more expensive setup. So I always recommend that that first telescope be the thing that you're going to use, the thing that you're going to want to take, set outside, and when you see Jupiter's in the sky, you're going to want to turn your telescope and take a look at it, and whatever gets you to be seeing that stuff as much as you can. And as soon as it's heavy and is um, finicky, then that's a real put off. Like I've got a really fancy telescope
Hmm.
here,
Hmm.
and I almost never use it because it is so time intensive
Yeah.
and a pain to get it all lined up and configured and ready to go.
Yep.
Much better to just go with binoculars and just look in and at the sky. And there's something really special about using two eyeballs to look at something that is different, right? You're looking at the sky with your binocular vision as
Hmm.
opposed to with a single telescope. So no, it's a very different and really wonderful experience, and it's great that you can get the binocular experience for relatively inexpensive. So
Yeah.
that's totally the way I go.
And again, binoculars are so much more. You can go places, rather than loading up a telescope into your car, which is not that big of a deal overall. But if you just want to go and not have to hassle, like you just said, with setting something up,
Yeah.
setting a telescope up can be very, very difficult. Even a manual. These are like binoculars are nice to just put in your. You can just get going. You can go on the road with it, and having a
Yeah.
tripod. Again, because if you have good magnification, you're going to notice that you shake a lot.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure you have a tripod to put the
Yeah.
binocular.
I don't know if Paul told you we're taking a couple of image stabilizing binoculars with us on the cruise that we're doing
No.
in about a month. And those are the best
Oh,
because
that's cool.
you press it, you point them in the sky, you press a button, and the sky just stops moving.
Are you guys planning on streaming any of that?
No, we're on a boat. You can barely get the internet when you're on one of those cruise ships. No, this is
But if you
this is
had
just
a
for us and
backpack,
40 of our closest friends.
but if you had a backpack,
I don't know where you get your internet from.
the backpack, you can get it. There's backpacks that people use now
Like
too.
satellite backpack?
It's like its own little thing. I can send you the link to it so you can look at it. It's like its own thing.
Yeah, but I bet you its own thing doesn't include some way to connect to the internet at high speed.
Mm, well, so the one I was looking at was going to be more reserved towards just being something local here in the U.S. But I think there are people that are able to go do these international streams.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But
Yeah.
no, actually, it's funny. You look at the rules, and we're not allowed without written permission to be able to use um, uh, any material that we shoot while we're on the cruise ship. So we have to make sure that we get all the permission to be able to do that.
Oh.
So, but yeah, but we're probably going to do like a recording. We'll do some podcasts, some question shows, probably do an episode of his Ask a Spaceman. And, but if we can't record any of it, it's just for the people that were there, then that's what we do. We often did, when we did the Iceland trip, each of us did a show every night.
Hmm.
So we did a different show each night while we were there and a couple things together. So it was, it was good.
Yeah. Someone asked earlier though. Bagheera said, Where was it? Oh man, I lost it. Are those images taken? Nope, that's not it. There was the later one. I don't know where it was. It was something asking about. Well, no, was it Sanier? It was Sanier. Sarnier asked it. So, what distance do you no longer need ear protection while watching a rocket launch? Do you know?
Yeah. So if you were as close as this picture is, it would have killed you.
Yeah.
Right, from the sound
Right. That's right.
alone.
Robots.
Yeah. Yeah, hence the robot camera. So I don't know the exact distance that you would have to be, but the volume coming from, say, the space shuttle was, yeah, at a certain distance was lethal.
Yeah. Those international streams, they use local internet providers. They're no local in the middle of the ocean. I'm not sure about that, actually. But I don't, like I was looking at getting the backpack and stuff, and then I had life hit me and I couldn't do it right away.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, if you've got, 4G, then absolutely. But yeah, no, it's but traveling is already so complicated. Now we're doing the next one is going to be in Costa Rica, and that's in March. And that one we're taking a bunch of telescopes. So we're going to be going to volcanoes, and we're going to be going to wildlife preserves, but we're also going to set up a bunch of telescopes every night and show people the night sky and in these just amazing dark skies. So if anyone wants to be a part of that, go to astrotours.co. I'm sure Paul has mentioned this in the past.
yeah, and we're looking at it right now. So this is Astro Tours, and they have this is with you and Dr. Paul.
So that's the one that we're doing. And that one's sold out, but the Costa Rica one is still got some slots available. So and that's in March.
Yeah, and this one's
that's crazy, the Atacama one.
Yeah. And then Iceland, that's going to be with Ethan Siegel, who we've had on here. And then there's the Costa Rica, Fraser Cain and Paul Stetter going in March, early March. And then there's an Irish one.
And Pamela's doing one in the Southwest.
Yeah, where is that? Wait, whoa. This one's Colorado? What?
That's a fossil one.
Yeah, but that would be cool still. I love fossils. I love looking for arrowheads and stuff.
There's sort of like 20 to 30 people on a trip, so they're pretty small.
Yeah. Where is the one with?
I don't know. Pamela is doing one. Maybe it hasn't been put on.
Oh, yeah. It says coming soon.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So Pamela's going to take people around the various observatories in the Southwest and do some dark sky observing and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, pretty cool thing here.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. I mean, Iceland was so much fun. And we had really rough weather, but I was able to teach people how to take pictures of the auroras, and we got shots of the auroras when nobody even thought there was auroras happening. So it was good.
Yeah. I didn't know that you guys did anything like that. Then I found out about Astro Tours, and I'm like, this is something that, how long has that been going on? Do you know?
Well, the Iceland one that we did earlier this year was the first one.
Did you just say that? I might have not heard that. I was
6 months is how long we've been doing these tours.
Yeah, there's the link. Yeah, there you go. Sorry, I was reading chat. I was opening up windows and things like that. Sometimes I miss like a sentence. Already seen some pics of Iceland, and it looks so good. Yeah, I hear
Iceland is epic.
I hear Iceland's pretty expensive though.
It is really expensive. Yeah. The food and hotel and all that kind of stuff is really expensive.
Yeah. Already seen some pics. Oh,
don't stay long.
Yeah. And yeah, hopefully there'll be some auroras that will be caught too when Ethan does that.
Yeah. It's the great part about like here, like where I live, right? We'll get a nice strong aurora every month or so, maybe every couple of months when it's aurora season. But in Iceland, you can pretty much see bright auroras every night. It's just a matter of going out and waiting and looking up.
Well, yeah, in certain parts of Iceland, they actually turn off lights.
Yeah.
Which is super cool. I couldn't imagine.
They take it pretty seriously. Yeah, the skies were incredibly dark there. It was just a beautiful place.
Yeah, that's the one.
And one of the cool things, if you're ever planning a trip over to Europe, if you take Iceland Air, you can do a stopover in Iceland for no additional cost. And so
Oh.
you can say you want to do a trip over to Europe or back from to the US, and you take Iceland Air, you can do up to, I forget, like 3 weeks, I think, in Iceland, and you can just, or 14 days, and you can just
No,
tour around
because you don't know
the country and
shit.
then come back to the next airplane and continue your trip. So it's a good way to go.
I think my chat just got really scared. That was amazing. Um, that was super loud. I don't know if the volume got adjusted on that. Sorry, guys. That was an alert. And I'll get to that when we're done with the interview here. But there's a question. The Matt Geek said, "What is your favorite thing to study in astronomy?"
I don't really have a preference. Anything, like, I really love space exploration, and I love cosmology, and I love planetary science, and I love just observational astronomy, and I love amateur astronomy and aeronautical engineering and aerospace. No, I don't. That's the great part, is I don't have to choose. If you read Universe Today, the kinds of stories that are happening on Universe Today, or the kinds of stories that I'm covering on the Guide to Space over on YouTube, that's my interest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And let's see, there is another question. Are they going to remove the obsolete rule that prevents live SpaceX from streaming live views from their rockets?
I don't know. Sort of what happened was, SpaceX does do a live stream of their spacecraft, but there's a rule from NOAA, I think, that they're not allowed to show the Earth at a certain altitude because it can be used for surveillance purposes at a certain resolution. And so they actually, when they were doing a launch for, like some satellite, they had to pause their live stream until they hit another altitude. And I think they've worked through that. So right now the launches from SpaceX, and it depends on which launch it is. Like if it's NASA, it's fine, they don't have to do it. But if it's for a commercial satellite, they have to respect these laws. But I think they've worked their way through it. So I don't think it's that big of a problem anymore. There was like one launch where they cut it unexpectedly, and I'm sure the conspiracy theorists just had a field day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's really because of aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, that's any questions, Raython, but we only have a few more minutes, and my dryer is singing right now. Like, it keeps playing noises. So I'm sorry if everybody hears noises in the background. It does very annoying it sounds a little bit like Zelda. It reminds me of old video games. Reboot the CGI machine.
Right. How do I grow a sweet goatee? My wife and I are in battle. She'd like a great big long goatee, and I get annoyed when it gets too long, so I want to cut it. So
yeah. What do you think about
supportive
TRAPPIST?
wife?
What do you think about TRAPPIST-1, the TRAPPIST-1 system?
I mean, we haven't really learned a lot of information since its discovery. I mean, there's been some really interesting things about how habitable the worlds are, and just in general, this idea that there can be habitable planets around red dwarf stars, which is pretty exciting, since red dwarf stars are the most common stars in the universe.
Yeah.
And they have very long lifespans, right? Well, the sun is going to start heating up in the next billion years. Stars like TRAPPIST-1 will last 10 trillion years.
Yeah.
So it's very exciting for them to find this. But the problem is that the planets are tidally locked to their star, so they probably are not great places to live. So more research is necessary.
Yeah. And I mean, it's only 40 light years away, I think, right?
No, it's more like...
Are you sure?
I don't know.
I think it maybe 40. I could be wrong. I might be thinking about Ross 128.
Yeah. Hey, Google, how far is TRAPPIST-1? There you go. You're right. 39.4.
Nice. Yeah, 40-ish.
There you go.
Yeah, you have...
It's in your head now.
Yeah. And so all those planets are tidally locked. So, and you can fit that whole entire solar system within the orbit of Mercury.
Yeah.
You can plop it right in there and have room.
So, I mean, it's very exciting that a habitable world was found, but or a series of habitable worlds were found.
Yeah.
But that tidal locking is a
Right.
big problem.
Right.
So I think that you're still going to want to have a world that turns with respect to its star.
Yeah, we covered it in class. Kind of got me excited. Well, it's a very cool thing.
Yeah.
It's very cool. I think we at first thought there was only 2 planets that were orbiting TRAPPIST-1, but then we found, I think there's 7.
Tidal locking is where a moon or a planet gets slowed down to the point that it only shows one face to the star or planet. The moon, our moon, is a good example, right? We only see one side of the moon because it's tidally locked. And so from our perspective, it doesn't rotate, which is no big deal for the moon. But if you have a planet that is tidally locked to its star, then one side of the planet faces the star and one side it's constantly getting heated up, and the other side of the planet faces space, and so it's constantly cooling down. And so there would be a lot of places that you could live. You could live like right on the edge between the day side and the night side, but you don't want that. You want a world that turns so the whole place gets evenly warmed up.
Yeah, and you can get some weird kind of resonances, like Mercury has a 3-2. So
and the TRAPPIST planets have this weird resonance, but the hope is we're going to find more of these and just get a better sense of all the weird worlds that are out there in the Milky Way.
Yeah, they're likely out there. It's just, again, those stars, as you said, they're these dim, small stars, and they are the majority, it would seem, as far as we know now. But they're just so dim, and you have to look close. They have to be nearby, to be able to see them. So I should
probably wrap things up. Before I go, can I shamelessly self-promote something?
Oh, please do, please.
So on Monday, I'm going to be interviewing Robert Zubrin, who is the founder of the Mars Society. And that's going to be on my YouTube channel. So there's an event there already, but if you want to come and talk to Bob Zubrin, join us.
Awesome. And guys, you can find all his information. I will also put it in the VOD. I haven't updated the VODs this week just because I've been having computer issues, but that will all be updated soon, so things will be put together.
Yeah. And Bill Nash is saying, ask about the dipole drive. That's the plan. That's how I got him to join me. It was like, I want to ask you a bunch of questions about the dipole drive.
And we talked about that with Dr. Paul on Tuesday for a bit. Yeah. Dr. Paul and I were like, don't even know. So Fraser is going to be talking to him, so you guys
I'll be talking to him. I'll get him to explain it to me.
There you go.
And I'll let you know next week what I learned.
Yeah. So guys, go over and check that out. And thank you so much for your time. Always appreciated. And
no problem.
I will be
My pleasure, everybody.
All right. See you later.
All right. Bye.